Hi everybody. Happy Monday. Um we have the Vintage Stash review today, and it looks like I have a couple ladies over on YouTube. Lisa's on YouTube and Sherry's on YouTube. This is a public broadcast for the Backstage Pass review, as we are trying to do a little bit of marketing for it. And the best way to do that is to demonstrate what we get in it, what you can make from it, like we did last week, or not last week, but last month with those birds. Peggy's over on YouTube. Hi, Peggy. Uncle Doug's here on Facebook saying hi to everybody. So we are broadcasting from both YouTube and Facebook the most, or whatever platform works best for you. So we do have both of those options. I've done some cleanup in the room too, so we happened to get rid of 2 shelves, and then we shifted 2 shelves over, so back behind me is a bit more open, which is really nice because I get some more sunlight in here and it brightens everything up. Hi, Connie. Connie's over here on Facebook. Candy's here on Facebook. Good to see you, ladies. So today is going to go really quick, and I think you guys are going to enjoy today because not only am I going to be doing the Vintage Stash review, which are the components that you're seeing in front of me, but I'm also going to do a little crash course. I'm going to do a crash course techniques because the Vintage Stash review today is going to be very, whatchamacallit, it's going to be very quick, the stash review today, and then I'm going to do the crash course on the photography lesson after the fact. So, you're going to get both a Vintage Stash review, and you're going to get a sample of what a master class can and would look like. Both for today, because I think it's good to market not only the Vintage Stash review, but along with, some of the crash courses you might get, whether it's a Q&A session. So I'm going to pop this up. If nobody has, or if you have not signed up yet, you are going to want to sign up for the Backstage Pass. It's $35 a month. You get 2 times the rewards, which is huge because you get, what did we calculate that out to being? Maybe like 20% cash back. Don't quote me on that, but you get cash back for that. You get your monthly stash, which is what you're seeing here. So you get a little bit of a sampling of some components, etc., etc. And then you're going to get your master classes, your stash class, and an Ask the Designer. So you're going to get 4 classes a month, and if there are 5 weeks, then we just skip that week. So you guys are going to have a lot of stuff to do today. So let's start putting together some of the stash. I wanted you guys to get this in preparation for Valentine's Day. So you don't have to make what I'm making. I'm under the assumption that a lot of people have already used these components because of Valentine's Day, which was this last weekend. But I know so many people have been asking for a photography crash course. So we're going to do that today because today's little sampling here isn't going to take very long. So that way you get both of both worlds. And I have had, request after request after request about doing a photography course. So we have these cute little plated hearts. They are pewter based. They are plated in silver. Yeah, they'll be great for Mother's Day too. But I do have some cutesy Mother Day things that I think I'll put up on the warehouse sale here soon, so you guys can grab some Mother's Day things. But these are adorable, and they come with jump rings, and then you're going to get 2 twisted rings. These are also pewter based and silver plated. You'll get a rose gold plated, it's either rose gold or it's bright copper, one or the other. They're really similar when you're putting them next to each other. So it could go rose gold or bright copper, one or the other. But this is a pewter based size 8 ring plated with that rose gold color, and it is a finger ring, so you can put it on your finger. Super cute, but we can also use it as a component. Speaking of rings, we have this pewter-based gold-plated heart ring, which is absolutely adorable, which also is a size 8, and you can just stick that on your finger and sell as is. You don't have to do anything else with that. It's adorable. We also have the rose gold-plated pewter-based origami heart. Super, super cute. I have featured this before, but I think it's perfect for Valentine's Day. Then you're going to get a green girl heart. This is plated in, it's brass antique plated. Love gives wings. How cute is that little message there on the back with a little GGS tag? Usually they're on the back. Where's the GGS on this one? Oh, there it is, right there on the wing. So this is a Green Girl Studio piece. Super cute. And I don't have my AirPods in today, so I know I said I was going to do that, but I think I'm just going to keep that for Wednesday because I didn't have a whole lot of time to prep today because I am designing for Wednesday. You're going to get this Acid Vibe plated pewter-based heart connector. It's got the loop there on the top, and then it's got these 3 little connector holes on the bottom. Super cute. And then you have this secret key. I think this retails for at least $10. I'd have to double check on that. But this is pewter-based and antique copper plated. Copper antique plated, and then you'll have this little crosshatch bail. This one you can open and close. The plating is flex. You will hear just a tiny bit of cracking, but it does not like crack. It just sounds like it is, but it's not because it is a flex plating, which is super nice for those components. But let's get into a little bit of the construction for some of these, and then we'll hop right into the photography crash course, which I think you guys are going to love. But I was thinking for these little hearts here, which I'm sure a lot of you have already designed with your stash because for the holiday, for the Valentine's holiday, but I was thinking that these could go on the twisted rings. And these are just super simple designs. You can add whatever you want to them. But a lot of my jump rings and stuff are still in my office because the stuff that I'm creating for Wednesday is actually insane. The choker necklace and the earrings that I just made are freaking amazing. And then I have to create a few more things to go along with it because I can't only make 2 things for Wednesday. I have to make at least 4. So I'm going to attempt to make another bracelet. So the bracelet that I was working on for Wednesday actually turned into the choker necklace. So I have to come up with a different bracelet design for Wednesday and then maybe another earring design. We'll see. But I'm trying to do them in kits too, so you guys are able to buy both the bulk and the kits. Alright, so those are super cute. You can leave those as is and then just add, a couple silver ear wires to the top of those. I thought it would be super cute too to take some beads here. Let me see if I have some, because Lisa said pearls are in, so let's see if I have some pearly beads. I'll do that light pink pearl. And you can wrap those there inside the wire, the wrapped wire rings, kind of like that. I think that would be super duper cute. Otherwise, you can put the beads up here and then do your loop on the top and the bottom and then string your ear wires from up top. But I think the pink little pearls would be super cute on the inside. Let's see if it'll sit there. Here we go. And then 2 ear wires, which, like I said, I left all my stuff in my office. I don't have my AirPods in, so I'm not running back there, but let's see if I have a couple extra ear wires here. I'll just throw an ER50 up there. See if I have another one of those suckers. Oh, these marquee ones would actually be cute. So we'll do a marquee up there. See if oh, cool, sick. Alright, I do have another marquee. I'll throw the other marquee there. So those are super duper cute. You think hearts are always in season? That's a good point. Just like getting your significant other flowers should always be in season and not just on Valentine's Day. Yes, yes, yes. The red heart was one that Candy Cooper used in her part of the collection for Vintaj's designer collection sold in bead shops a long time ago. Yes, it was called Artisan Market. So Candy did design the heart there alongside some of our other designers. Yes, Mackie, Jess, Green Girl, they were all in there. I think Wendy had her own collection. I think Jean had her own collection. I'm not sure if Ainsley did or not, but Artisan Market was a really, really, really beautiful program. I really liked everything that went in there. There was anything from Western, kind of like Wendy's designs, to more whimsy, like the Green Girl designs. But I'm loving those hearts up there. Let's see if I have... Maybe if I get Kieran back here, he can grab my other ones. I have some eye pins here that we can use. And then I actually have some silver eye pins. I think silver would be better instead of the solid brass because we are using silver plated. I always want to make sure that I say plated because I know what I'm talking about when I say silver, but I don't think there's not many people that would be like, oh, that's silver plated. They would just think that it's just silver. All right. Let me just go grab that quick. I'm sorry. So I got it. So I can have my silver plated ones so they don't look wonky with the solid brass version. So let's grab a couple of those eye pins here. Pop those off to the side. And then let's string our pearls through. Because I know you guys know how to make your loops, but I think it's really cool to see everything put together instead of just laid out. So, because today's going to be a little more quick, I think it would be good if I were to just do that. And of course, my round nose pliers are also in my office. I'll just use our rounded ones because I don't have my other ones on me. You got to love it. Alright. We're almost tucked in there. Finish my loop with my chain nose pliers. There we go. That should be okay. And then we'll do another one. Ooh, I probably actually need to make those loops. No, we'll be okay. I have an idea. Never mind. Never mind. It's always, I have an idea. Alright, let's snip that one. Get her wrapped and do a loop. Put that first. Beautiful. And then I'm going to push this in. So what did you guys do for Valentine's Day? Or what did you get your significant others, or what did your significant other get you? Here we go. Should be alright. So what I would do here is I'm gonna put this jump ring is going to go with my bead first. And then I'm going to do that on the other side, and then I'm going to grab two more JR45s in silver plate so I can match the size of the jump rings between the top and the bottom. Alright, let's grab 2 more JR45s out of here. Alright, I'm going to open that. And then I'm going to slide this through here to connect. That looks good. And then I'm going to put my top ear wire up there. So slide through eye pin, slide over ring, close, and then I need to face this the other direction since my jump ring is going to go through here instead. So I'm just shifting the loop over on both of these ear wires here. And fix that loop. Make sure we're laying straight and flat. Nice. Alright, I gotta reopen this top jump ring so I could slide my marquee ear wire on there. Okay. Close that. Alright, let's see here. So, it was so great. Corian needs an assistant. Haha, you're funny. Kieran is usually my assistant, but he's probably busy running around getting things made, or paints filled, or things processed. I'm going to leave that. I'm just going to open the jump ring here instead. Kieran is my go-to for anything that I need, usually. Okay. Those are so cute. Okay, simple. Got the pink because it's Valentine's. And then your little hearts there at the bottom. You could paint those too. So pearls are in for 2026. Apparently is what Lisa said, which is lovely. So that's why we used a couple pearls there. Adorable. Alright, next up. We'll go to the next ring set. I was thinking this for the origami heart because the platings match, which is adorable. And you already have a jump ring on the origami heart, which is amazing. You just open and close that. Throw that on to there. And you have yourself the start of a necklace, which is super cute. I can probably take these extra ear wires out because I don't have any more doubles. Let's see what else we can do here. Okay, match my finishes. So copper and copper, gold, bronzy with an antique. I think this trio would be cute. Ring, I would leave as is and just use it as a finger ring. It's a size 8, so it would be down here on this one. So I'd leave that one as is. This I would probably turn into a necklace and maybe have 2 more jump rings up here with some rose gold chain to finish it out to keep all the pink tones together. But you can also wrap another one of those. Oh, is this big enough to fit in there? Not quite. Oh, I didn't mean to drop that. Oh, gee. Ugh. That's difficult to reach all the way the heck down there. And maybe, oh, this is adorable. That's a big red heart. That's actually super cute. And it's a bead. Probably do something with that, but that doesn't come in the stash. That's just a miscellaneous thing that I found in my crystal bin here. What about this red? Ooh, sorry, I don't want to shake you. Don't want to shake you too much. I think it needs to be bigger, though that is cute. I'm going to save this red bead to see if we need it for this combo.
Trading me in for Kieran, huh?
No, usually I just ask him to grab stuff. Uncle Doug's yelling at me over here.
I did yell. Nicely.
He's getting jealous.
Jealous, that's
jealous.
Right.
Yeah, that's funny. A couple of those. Those are bright pink, though. Not a big fan of that, but it would be cool to do something where it's hanging from there. Oh, I wish I had another cute bead for the center of that. Ooh, I found another pink pearl. Oh, that's much better. Yes. Yes. I'll grab one of these. Maybe we'll continue the silver and kind of do the same concept with those. Let's put this together really quick. Hi, Carlene. We're gonna do a photography crash course here in a minute once we get through these, because I didn't want to leave you guys at only half an hour worth of masterclass. I wanted to fill it up a little bit. I need to bring these round it the other way. Other way. Nice. Alright, so this I need to close the rest of the way because I'm not using my normal round nose because those are in my office. I'm using the other round nose. Okay. So let's open up this jump ring here. Slide that on. Oops. There we go. Do I have another JR45? I have a JR40 in rose gold. Maybe we'll just use that instead. So this top jump ring is going to look a little bit thicker because I'm using a thicker gauged jump ring here at the top because I don't have any 45s on me in the rose gold color, so we're just going to do the 40 in the rose gold. And then I would do let's see. If this hangs, I don't have my beetles on me. Oh yeah, I do. So I'm gonna hold it like this and be like, that's how that hangs with just one. So I think I would slide my chain through there, keep it more center. We did have some rose gold chain here. Should we do gold or silver? Maybe silver. I have a couple snippets of silver chain. Or maybe, okay. Just pretend this is rose gold chain for now. This is the chain that I have on hand here. Alright. Maybe I'll do the silver chain instead. The gold looks a little weird against the rose gold. I'm not a big fan of that, since it's more of it's a cooler toned pink versus a higher toned pink. So we'll take Here we go. This chain's actually almost done. And since our findings are silver, I'm going to continue the silver finding look. If I can shove this chain through there. Yep. Hi, Amanda. Amanda's over on YouTube, everybody. I'm trying to make sure I say hi to both my YouTube ladies and my Facebook ladies because we are broadcasting to both YouTube and Facebook right now. Okay, silver definitely looks way better with those tones. So I'm going to put a... Looks like my chain broke. So I'm going to clip that off the rest of the way and use that existing link. It's a link and not a jump ring. That's for high production. Slide that on. Close that link. Nice. Here we go. Cute heart pearl necklace. Since pearls are in and it's got that pinky tone to match the rose gold and the earrings here at the top. Adorable. Alright. Next, we'll do... My brain's going crazy. Maybe I can do a combo of all three. Let's open up this bale here. I'm going to thread that on. That works good. Left or right? Left, right. We'll do right facing. That's neat. I like the secret key with the heart because it looks like it's flying. Love it. We'll do a... I have a thicker chain for that. That's not even large enough to fit on my neck. Maybe we'll do like a half and half chain. How about this? Nope. Could do this one. I kind of like that thick. So maybe if I do a 2 on the one and then 1 on the other. Let's try that. So I'm going to leave that there. We're going to grab a big, thick jump ring, I'm thinking. Maybe that one, or this one's a thick jump ring too. Not quite. I think I want it a little bit wider, but not like... I think we're going to do that big smooth one. The JR11116, and I'm going to put this chain on one side, that in the middle, and then I'm going to do a double here for the other side. But I think I'm going to have to do this one with a jump ring, so then I'm probably going to have to do the other one with the jump ring. So I'm going to extend this CH0001 that's in my hand with a bead awl so I can fit a jump ring through there, and then it will attach to my large JR116. I'm going to put a jump ring on this other chain, so I'm going to slide it back off, put a jump ring on there so it matches the jump ring on the thinner chain side, but I'm going to double up the thinner chain side to match kind of that style. So let's grab a couple JR20s just in natural brass, because that's what my chain and my other jump ring are. So I need my 2 ends for my CH0001 here. CH0001 is soldered. So using the bead awl is a good little hack for that. Hopefully this is large enough to fit my jump ring, my big jump ring. Alright, so we doubled the chain. Beautiful. Alright, so I'm going to jump ring this side of the thicker chain. Do a halfy half. Hi, Maria. You are great. Trying in the pieces with color. I like the copper heart ring and pink pearl with the silver chain. Isn't it cute? Alright, let's close this other JR20 here. Beautiful. And slide that onto my JR116. Maybe. Really. I'm gonna pick this son of a gun up. I might actually need a thicker jump ring than the JR20 here, because this other chain that I have on it is a little bit thicker. So I'm gonna pull that off. We're gonna do a JR40 instead, which I'm sure the JR40 will still fit my CH0001. So let's try that, because that other chain's a little too much. And it looks like I only have JR40. I guess we'll do it in rose gold. As much as I don't want to, I think that's what we're gonna have to do, because I don't have my normal JR40s on me. Yeah. Alright, we'll do 2 of the JR40 plated in the rose gold then. That's okay. Oh yeah. So CH0001 with the bead awl extending will work just fine for both. And then we'll attach these to our JR116. But I'm going to put the thicker side on the other side. There. Put this one on that side. Ooh, that's a big jump ring. Alright, it's closed up good. And then push these out of the way here. And then I could probably take off a good section of this. So I'm going to chop somewhere around there, kind of the same length. Alright, at the top, we do our clasp closure. I'm going to take a couple of these off too. Let's do that like here. Is this one soldered? This one's soldered. I just have to clip that. Okie dokie. And then a couple more jump rings and a clasp. So on the back end, I'll do the JR20 for the yes. And then a CL0003 with a JR, we'll say 55 at the end. So we can clasp that. I like that. Alright. I'm going to put that on the end, close the JR55 there, and then we'll string both of the ends of the CH0001 onto the JR20, which will also be connecting to the CL0003, which is your clasp. So we're going to string both of those ends. The JR20 is thin enough to be able to fit without having to extend your chain holes, which is nice. On the end part of it, just one less step you have to do. And close that up, and we'll put this together there. So that's a cute choker. And then you can do like another little bead thing there in the middle if you want. If you do, I think it would be gorgeous. I think I have another pink pearl bead that I had seen. Let me see if I can. Or maybe if we do it in the, like a clear or white. That's too big. That's not a bead, but I think that would be cool. If it was wrapped and then suspended. Yeah, I like that. I like that a lot, actually. I don't think I have... I'm not sure if an F20 would work for that. It might be a little too big. Do I have any more F20s? Oh, found one. Kill. So this is a piece of wood, but it's like a darker, warm-toned stain on it. Oh, heck yeah, baby. That will fit. So I'm gonna do a little wrappy wrap. Let's see if that fits in there. Ooh. We might be cutting it close for size. I'm not sure if this will stay in. We'll see here. Let me get these corners pushed in a little bit. Do that on the other side. So I can make sure that the filigree, that F20 is following the curvature of the wood cab that's going around there. Oh yeah, that's beautiful. That is beautiful. It's a little tiny bit off center, but you guys can spend a little bit more time ensuring that it's in the center. Okay, take that there. And then I would do jump ring to jump ring. Maybe even drop that a bit more. Let's see. You'll notice that when I'm designing, I take things apart, add things until I'm like, yeah, that's it. So maybe if I did a 2x2 or maybe I have an idea. I will fold up this bottom end here. We won't do a connector, we'll just do it hanging from the top, and hopefully it'll stay where I want it to stay. And squeeze my sides in a little bit more down at the bottom. Okay. So I'm thinking my JR40s are going to have to go into my filigree so it holds at the top there. So I'm going to take off some of this F20. because I don't need this top loop because I'm going to be using the bottom 2 loops. Don't take off a whole lot because you don't want to destroy your loops. But I do want to take some of this extra metal off the top. And then make sure you file too, in case there's sharp points, which my file is also in my office. Everything's in my office. Alright. Hey, Kieran! Kieran! He's gonna grab my file for me.
Yes.
Can you grab my file out of my office, please? My long vintage one. The normal one. Yes, thank you. Alright. I'm gonna file some of that. I glide my finger to see if there's any more sharp points. Because if it's gonna get caught on my finger, it can get caught anywhere. So that seems manageable. And then we'll do the JR40s. If they don't fit where I need them to fit, then I'm going to use my bead awl to extend the holes in the F20. Bam. Okay, I'm not gonna do that, so I'm going to extendo the holo. I'm gonna go actually through the back to the front because I don't want to pull my wrap apart. So I'm just widening these holes large enough to be able to string the JR40 through. Beautiful. And then I have to get my JR40 back on that JR116. Okay. And then we're going to do that on the other side with the other hole. Give me this JR40. Open sesame. Alright. So my thing is going to fall through there. I'm going to fit my JR40 through and up. I don't know what I just dropped, but I think I just dropped a few jump rings or something. Okay. Better. And then I'm going to string this through. And we're going to close her up. Might have to file a little bit of this bail there at the bottom. But otherwise, that is super duper cute. I don't know why my whole thing shifted. Okay. So we have our earrings, necklace, necklace. That's with our dual chain combo. You guys can see both styles of chain on there. Cute. Face that normal way. Our ring stays as our ring, and then something with this. I'm looking at that. I'm also seeing that we don't have a bracelet yet, so let's do a bracelet out of this. Let's take this JRV40 off the top. We're just get that off of there. Okay. Let's see. I think that would be cute. I can do... Let's see here. Before I get it all put together. Okay, that works. So I think I'm going to use that as a clasp point, and I'm going to hold that there. I'm going to do some coin chain over here. I don't think I do. Maybe I have some. Trying to think what other chain. I think coin chain, the silver coin chain would be pretty if I did the 3 coming off there and then circling back around to the clasp. What if I did, I'll put this back on here. 3 to 1. I could do a little drop from here too to kind of spice up the clasp. So we'll bring out a little, maybe, will that red bead be cute there? No, that's not the right toned red. That's a little closer to the tone I'm looking for. About that. Because it's kind of marbled. So, and this is like the bead bin that I'm sorting through. So, I have a bunch of miscellaneous beads that I'm just kind of trying to match some tones to. I do have another one of those, so maybe we'll do those. I'll pull this out. We'll use the 2 marble because I do have 2 of them, and I could probably find a spot for that other one. So we'll do that, and then maybe I'll have Kieran grab some coin chain or something. Or do I have any in these miscellaneous lots? A lot of the stuff that I design with, I'm just pulling out of miscellaneous bags and all sorts of things. Oh, well, Kieran's leaving. I just heard his car start, so never mind. Maybe we'll use... No, we're going to have to do coin chain, so we'll bring up that coin chain in a bit. We'll do that silver coin chain, but we'll keep these 2 there. I think I'm going to do... Ooh, if I had a 3rd one... Third one would be pretty. Make it a zipper pull. I think I just need 1 more of those stupid beads, and I found those 2 pretty quick. But the problem is, when you're using the miscellaneous beads, it's hard to find the same bead if you need it times 3. Sometimes it's easy to find beads that are like, oh, you only need 2 of them. And they're usually kind of like right next to each other, but when I start trying to look for the 3rd, then it gets a little, you know. Okay, well, I found these 2 as well. I just found a 3rd. Nope, that's orange. That's not red. That's what I'm talking about. See, I found 2, and then you don't. It keeps going lower. There we go. We'll use those 3 then. And then maybe we'll use the... we'll use the other 2 for a little... to spice it up a little bit. Oh, here we go. Yeah! Cool! We'll use these. That's actually really neat looking. So this one can be my center one. pull these down. That can be one there. This one can be on the other side. That can be center. You can even kind of double them up if you wanted. But I think I'm going to do those three because that's cool. Alright, we need some head pins or eye pins. We're going to do eye pins because I need to utilize both loops. Scoot in. Because I need to connect some chain afterwards to make it into a full bracelet. Pull that. Alright, I definitely need to go grab my round nose pliers. I need to do that. Look, guys! Alright, I grabbed some coin chain that was laying on my desk too. And put that up there. Where did I just put that? There it goes. Alright. Redo this loop. I'm just going to completely redo that one. Those other pliers are good if you're making big loops, but when you're trying to do the smaller loops, I just recommend using your normal round nose pliers. Alright. We have almost got our loop. My hands are starting to get a little sweaty. I am a little upset that I have to work today because it's, 65 degrees outside today? You know how they do snow days? And if the weather's like super, super cold, sometimes these kids don't have school. They should do that for like really, really, really nice days too. You don't have to come in because we want you to enjoy the nice weather. That would have been amazing. Amazing. I would have lived that up in my high school days. Speaking of my high school days, it has it's been what? Almost 9 years since I graduated high school. Going on 10 after this coming year. Which, that's just absolutely insane to me. But I was thinking about it, and I was sitting on my couch over the weekend with my dogs, and I have all my yearbooks together under the TV, like on the little TV stand shelf. And I was like, you know what? It's been a minute since I've gone through my yearbook. I'm going to go through my yearbooks and found some really good stuff in there. Some really funny things too, where I'm like, oh my gosh. I texted a couple of the girls and I was like, do you remember saying this when you were in high school? Look, it's like printed on the paper. Like talking about how like their ex-boyfriend or something was like the worst thing that happened to him in high school, and they like named him in there, and I'm like, oh my gosh, do you remember this? It's so funny. And look at where we are now. So if you haven't recently gone through your yearbook, I suggest that you do, because there's quite a few things in there that I forgot were in there, and I just had a good chuckle over the weekend. And it's funny because one of the things that I had sent to the DIY group, the Facebook messaging group, was that Ainsley and I were photographed It was so funny. We were photographed in art class, and the caption of the photo was Ainsley watches Corian to gain inspiration for her art project or something. And I just thought it was so funny that now both Ainsley and I not only were giving each other inspiration in high school, but we're still doing it, and we're not only giving inspiration to each other, we're giving inspiration to hundreds of ladies across the US for jewelry, which it just blows my mind. But I thought it was really neat to be able to see that. And I miss going to high school with my favorite underclassmen, my not favorite underclassmen, because I was being sarcastic in my answer. I was like, they're like, who's your favorite underclassman? I'm like, not Ainsley Holland. But everybody knew that she was, because we would hang out every day. We would eat lunch together. Like, she was my girl. And I took care of her in high school. You can ask her. She needed a little bit of a little extra something. We would, like, if she liked something from my lunch tray, I'd let her have it. And then if I liked something from her lunch tray, she'd let me have it. So we'd swap food and all sorts of stuff during high school. I miss my Ainsley. It was so funny, too, because we were known as the big booty cousins together when we were in high school, and it was just this laughing joke rolling around. Loved it. Every second of it. Do any of you miss high school? Because as much as, like, I didn't like high school, I do. I miss it so much. And not only because I just miss seeing people all the time, but you were forced to, like, communicate with people, like, in class, and it was just really great. And sports, I miss sports and band class and directing and all that stuff. The extracurriculars, I may say. I miss the extracurriculars. 50 years. I think most things in the yearbooks aren't remembered. Oh, well, definitely pull out your yearbook then, Kathy. You're going to love it. 62 degrees where you're at, Chris? Then, yeah, we both need to go outside and enjoy that nice weather. Look at how cute those little beads are, like, turning out at the bottom of that. You could even just do it as a clasp necklace would be actually super cute. I might leave out these and just not do, maybe. Let's see, do I have some head pins that are silver? I know I have them in here. Let me grab a couple of those. Maybe we'll, instead of making that a bracelet, we'll just dangle the 3 off the end and just complete that as a necklace with the clasp attached, because I do really kind of like that look. And I'm liking these beads here at the bottom. No reviewing yearbooks. You guys, get out your yearbooks. What the heck? Seriously, get them out. You guys would love it, I bet. You guys will have to send some, like, yearbook things to me over Messenger and be like, this was me in high school, or this is what I did, or what I said. I love stuff like that. I love a blast from the past. It's my favorite. I was looking at a whole bunch of the old puppy pictures that, though they're not very old, like, I just love looking back on things like that. Alright, let's do 2 more of these, and then we'll be complete on this, and then we'll dive into the photography crash course. It won't be very long, but you guys are going to learn a lot. I swear. You guys are going to love it. You guys are going to love it. Because I'm not going to go over all my techniques. Okay, I'm just going to cover a couple, kind of like background and foreground and how to set up for it. So you guys get, like, a little inkling, and then, maybe later down the road, I'll give you guys a longer course on it, but I did want to just kind of put it out there and say, like, okay, you get a class like this where you're, you know, putting things together, but some of the master classes are Q&A. Some of them are dealing with, like, other materials like leather or like painting, things like that. So I did want to just do a short little photography thing for you guys. All right, those are cute. So those are gonna end my links, which you could do chain off these and just make it into a bracelet, but I'm really liking this as a necklace. And I'll go back and forth on particular designs. I feel like I really like this design, but it doesn't for a bracelet, so I have to make it into a necklace or, you know, something like that. All right, we're gonna hang our last red bead. Do do do. Do 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 do. Do do. Okie dokie. Cute, cute, cute. And then I'll do silver chain because I have silver findings and I have some coin chain here. Yep. We're gonna use the coin chain. Coin chain, I love it. It's so pretty. But I'm gonna double up this one too, I think. I love the coin chain when it's doubled. It's so stinking pretty. All right, let me chop this kind of there. I'm gonna chop it on either side of the coin so I get it nice and center. All right, now I have 4 ends, which I'm going to connect to I'm gonna go this way because I'm gonna put a jump ring there. Maybe we'll skip the clasp for now. I really do like that look, but we're going to skip the clasp. We're going to go straight to the jump ring onto the coin chain and then finish out the back of the coin chain. This is just easier, faster, and then that way we can get to our photography. All right, I'm going to slide those in there. All right. You guys know how to put a clasp on, so I'm not going to do that on screen. I'll do that after the fact. But, where'd my other ring go? There you go. Cute. I know I didn't send you any beads or chain this time or findings, but in the future, I think I'm always going to include some chain so I can show you different ways to utilize it. But I think this turned out super good. There we go. Oh, I have to shift it a little bit here. So we have our origami heart with our ring, and then our twisted rings, and our silver hearts with our green girl heart and a key, and then our trio heart there. I saw pictures of local reunion of my high school classmates. I didn't recognize anyone because they all had gray hair. That's so funny. Hemingway misses being a band geek. Me too, girlfriend. You guys like college more? I didn't go to college, so I can't really say I like one more than the other, but I do really miss high school. But that's so funny. There's even people that, like, their names will come across, and I'll be like, oh my gosh, I went to school with them. I forgot they even existed. Like, how is that possible? Like, I spent, the 18 years growing up with these kids, or 17 years, because I was 17 when I graduated. But that's so funny. Weren't you fortunate? Funny. You didn't like high school? Except for your friends in choir. Yeah. Alright, so that's our little stash review there. And then let's get into some quick photography techniques, and then I will send you guys on your way. Because we're only an hour in, so I think within the next half an hour we'll be good to kind of just be done. Because I think an hour and a half is a really good time for masterclass. But then you guys can also get on with your days, especially if it's nice out, and go enjoy some nice weather. But I wanted to kind of do this a different way. So I'm going to kind of get you guys up high here so you guys can see how I set up, and then I'll show you how I zoom in. I think that sounds good. Let me push you back, and I'm going to move this light too, so it might get a little dull. I'm going to push you guys way back here, just so you guys can see what I'm doing. Okay. I'll get this nice and high. So my photography is also done in the same spot. So let's do some setup here. Let me know if you guys just want the top view, and then I can move my view out of it. That might be like this, so you guys can see. Yeah, that might be good. I think that's good. And we'll do it for this stuff that we just made. I'm gonna push my stuff from last week off this way and over to the side, because I can sort through that later and get all that untangled. But I want to show you guys the space that I use, because I use quite a bit of space when I'm doing this stuff. Alright. I'm going to bring me back. I'm going to pull this stuff off to the side. And then let's say that we want to do... I'm going to bring out this bracelet from last week too, because I don't have a bracelet out here. Nobody puts baby in the corner, but Corian will. Peggy! Alright, so I have a whole bunch of display things that I work with. There's some like fake roses that are just like the little green things. You can pick these up at Walmart pretty dang cheap. Or, flowers like this. And then they were in this container. So there's different ways that you can utilize this, and I'll show you what I do here for background and foreground, because you notice that a lot of my finished jewelry pictures have color and things in the background. And it's because I utilize stuff like this. I have like little cans for a bunch of different rocks, candles. I only buy candles now that have like unique or cool patterns or are very pretty. And then my brother, he melts all the wax out. So I use these for like earrings and stuff like that. But I have one in particular that I really like using, so I'm gonna bring a couple of those over. And then I have a bunch of rocks too, and dead flowers, and just things that you can find outside. But this was like a $5 candle, cleaned out, perfect for earrings, photography, background, foreground objects, so on and so forth. All right, so let's do starters for earrings. I'm gonna bring this cup out, candle, and hang these earrings off of it. You guys can see what I'm doing from a top view, and then I'll show you how I zoom in to capture what I need. So this is going to be my focus object. I'm gonna pull this forward, and now I need some foreground and some background. So I'm using some pinky tones, so I'm gonna come up on my ledge and pull some pink toned rocks. I'm gonna pull this down for a second so I can see here. So some pretty pink toned rocks look nice. Maybe we'll bring out some amethyst here, a little bit of amethyst. So pinky tones. There's a little bit of brown in there. You could pull some green out if you wanted, but I think I'm going to leave the green away. I am going to bring out a little bit of white as well. And we'll focus on some of this stuff in the foreground. We don't have to use it all, and we don't have to use any of it, honestly, but I'm showing you guys what I like to do. I also have this fake grass, which I put in here because it's easy to photograph that way, but super cute though. So I've been using the fake grass as well. So I'm going to put some of that in the background, just like that. Do I want some pink? Probably, because it's Valentine's Day, right? So I'm going to take one of these flowers, kind of shove it back there, because I need foreground and background tones. This seems to be a little cool, but I might bring out some of these. These are just like plasticky purple things that you can get from Walmart too. Hobby Lobby too. Just like any of those fake flower sections. Kind of throw those back here because I have those purple pink tones. So I'm just gonna file those in there. Like that. That's cute. Need some more in the foreground, so I think I'm going to put that triangle rock kind of down by the earrings. Put this pink rock there. So we're floating with the pinks. Maybe put another pink rock. And let's do it. Not amethyst. We're going to leave amethyst out, but the white, we're going to leave that out too. There we go. Do it like that. Make sure your jewelry is sitting where it's supposed to be sitting. Sometimes when your earrings are propped up against other things, your focals will shift because your jump ring's a little too big to lay like flat, especially if it's protruding. So I would take my phone camera and I'm going to adjust it down. And I'm going to get it into frame. But what I do is I shoot farther back instead of closer up, because I can always shoot more content, but you can't add content after the fact. So I kind of shoot from behind. I'm going to pull this off of my thing here. There we go. All right. So this is what you're probably going to see in the picture. So I zoom out probably a good like this much when I'm photographing. This is what I'm talking about with wanting to make sure that your stampings and castings are kind of just laying right, because the JR45s on this display in particular don't lay flat. So you kind of just have to adjust your castings or whatever it may be to make them look more center. You can use your bead awl to help maneuver things too. That looks really good. And then from here, I'm going to move this light out of the way. Or maybe I need to move it this way because something's reflecting. It might be the crack in my lens too. Good thing it's a screen protector. I'll have to get a new one. So I'm gonna capture this right here. And then after I take this picture is when I'm gonna zoom in. I wish I could zoom in on the screen here and show you guys what it looks like zoomed in. Maybe I can do because if I get too close then it won't. But once you zoom in and you crop, your crop size is going to be about here. So you're going to have your background color, the green, blue, purple, with your foreground color, your pinks with your focal subject there in the middle with a little bit of pink radiating off this side. So foreground, background, shoot from farther back, and then crop in when you're done with that photo. So that's how I would set up. I'm going to give you a top view like this. You guys can see what that looks like. And then what it would look like in frame in the picture. And then for necklaces and things of the sort. So that's kind of like a crash course on how I do the earrings. We'll do the necklace next. So I'm going to pull this green blue out because that's a little more not toned the way that I need it to be, but we'll do a tone with the red and probably the purples for this one. It looks like there's a little bit of green, so I could pull this green rock down and that will probably work super well with that. So for chain with the clasp, I pull it up like this. Okay. So you're straight, and then when you pull this center focal down, it's going to give you a really pretty necklace layout. Usually this part is connected, but I don't have a clasp right now, so you can take your bead awl and shift that over to look like it's connecting. And then I take the back of my bead awl to kind of round everything back out. Oh, I need to pull this other one kind of closer. So then I'll come in and guide my chain where I need my chain to be. So this is like a good product photo. That. And then you come in and you crop that, but do it at an angle there. And then you can put that in the foreground or the background. Probably put the rock up here because that's coming off the screen a bit. We'll put some amethyst. Do I want amethyst in front or behind? Amethyst in front to match that, but I'm going to push this up just a little bit and move that light. And then maybe a little small one like right here. What does green look like if I push green in here? I'm not liking the green too much. There's a tiny bit of green in those beads there. Oh, but maybe on the other side. We'll do like a tiny bit of the green with the white coming off the side there. And then, do I have just like a tiny bit of white I can put down here? Yeah, that's pretty. I'll straighten this out with the bead awl. Like that. Beautiful. So I'm kind of fitting everything into frame there. I'm going to pull this back over a little bit. Yeah, that looks good. So that's like another example there. Using like little props to fill your space. And then this is what it looks like from up top. So So I just lay things in frame as best as I can. And then I'll take my picture from up here, same angle, just, farther back, not all the way up here. You're going to have to see where your focus comes in and out. But let's say I snapped my picture here. When I crop it, it's going to be like this instead. I can probably pull this down just a little bit more here. Beautiful. Ugh! Somebody better be screenshotting these. Dang it. I should have left them up per each. Because that looks really stinking good. That's okay. At least I know what I'm doing. At least I know how I have things set up and I can rewatch when I need to photograph this. So that's earrings. For a bracelet, I know some of you were like, how the heck did you photograph this? So we'll pull that out. This was from last week's designs. So it depends, Candy. Sometimes shadows can really elevate the photo. It gives it dimension. It kind of, shows that it's not AI, so on and so forth. Oh my gosh, that was a really good neck crack. So it just depends. Sometimes, like if it's a product photo, if I'm just photographing just normal little tiny things like that, I try and keep shadows out. But if I'm doing like my finished jewelry inspiration, I like to have the shadows and things in there. I think it gives it a little more personality. It kind of shows where the sun's at the time. I'll use this one. So this is a good bracelet crystal because it's got some good shape in there. I'll layer that up top. Can do something funky with the chain and kind of like loop it down and then loop it back up. Do that on the other side. You can do a bracelet like this, and then we'll do doop. Do a little bit of green in there, and then maybe we'll do some purple coming up the green rock. That's pretty. And then this is going to be more at a harsh angle. We're going to come down really, really far on that one. I want some amethyst in there, though, I think. Give this a little bit more elevation. Right, Lucine? AI is becoming more and more and more frowned upon that I have noticed. So I don't use it at all for my jewelry. At all. Okay, that's pretty. So you can do a face shot like that, but for my bracelets and things, I like to come down at a really, really harsh angle here. I'm like right down there. And I have some brown back here that I need to fill out. And I have a little bit of space in between here. So I'm going to push in my green. And I'm going to bring my pink up a little bit. And see if I can close that gap between the two. Okay. I need to grab some of that brown out of there. So what do I want to put there? I have enough pink in there. Otherwise, I could put another rose in the background, but okay, that might be a little too dark. I want to do blue. Blue's a little bright. I do have this purple. Okay, I'm liking that. That's pretty. And then if I need to bring something back this way a little bit. This might get cropped out, but I'm going to put it here just in case to fill that out a little bit. I'm going to put the smaller one there so it's... Yeah. Beautiful. There we go. So you're just layering your background and your foreground with different objects. That looks phenomenal. But I'm gonna tweak it this way just a little bit. And bring this back. Can go out and up or down. Probably bring it back down here. Yep. I'm liking that. Gorgeous. Gorgeous, gorgeous. So that's like for a bracelet, and then this is what it looks from like way up here. Just layering, and then, you know, taking your picture from out here, and then cropping it in so it's totally in frame. That's really pretty too. Alright, that's a necklace, a bracelet, and a pair of earrings. A little crash course for you. That's all I'm going to show you guys for today, but if you want to see more, let me know, because if you guys are like, yes, I need more, I will make it a point to get on the schedule for some things like that. More photography tips, and I can go more into lighting and stuff like that. But just a little simple crash course. It's a lot easier than what it looks like to do that, as long as you have some just like miscellaneous rocks and wood pieces, or, you know, just some fake flowers that you can just rest in the background to get rid of some of your background stuff. Like, even if I just did that and do that at an angle there, barely meet, and then it's got a rose background once you got your angles right and whatnot. That's super cute. Could you show your rig for your phone camera, please? I do lives on whatnot, and not pleased with my camera arm. I'm not pleased with mine either. Hemingway. It really kind of sucks. And I do not use this arm for photography or anything. I only use it for the lives. But it's got a swivel here. It comes with two different sizes, a phone size, and then I think there's one down here that's like more like an iPad size. But this can move this way. This arm bends up and down this way, and then it can go like that too. And then it just clips onto the table, and then I use my phone for that, for that top view. I use my laptop for the face view, and then I use the iPad for like clicking through things and making sure that everything's in line for that. But let's do a little look. I don't like any of. I've not found an arm where I'm like, I really like this. I have yet to find one. I don't like them at all. And I don't use them for photography whatsoever. But let's do a little look here quick. Oh, my hair looks kind of crazy because my bun's not sitting right where I need it to. I'll bring this up more here. Hold on. Oh, that's why, because I grabbed the two wrong sides. Hold on. Make sure I have the right sides being grabbed here. What in the world? Hold on. Yeah, so the iPad here is my streaming device. It hosts my Switcher Studio, which is where we stream from, and then I can read comments. I also have this here. I have a lot of different. I have my desktop, which I can read comments like on the side there, or I can like read them here. Sometimes they, come in a little bit slow on the iPad, so I'm trying to watch both the iPad and the desktop. So I'm running one, two, three, four different devices to do live streaming. All right, now that I have these in the right way, I can show you guys what this looks like on. I'm going to bring you a little closer because I don't have a clasp on this. Very cute. Big fan of that coin chain. Very romantic. Gorgeous. Gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous. And little earrings here. I could probably notch these wire rings a little bit better so the pearl always sits in the center, but those are really cute. Those are super duper cute. Love it. Necklace, earrings, necklace, necklace. Of course! Of course, that's what I'm here for. And there have been so many requests for, knowing how I do my stuff, my photography and stuff. So I thought today would be a great day to do that. Should probably notch this a little bit too so it for sure stays in the center there, but that's cute. I'm trying to get my moon to get away from my clasp a bit. There we go. Adorable. And then we have one more necklace. All right. Okay. There's whatchamacallit. There's something that I had seen that I wanted to share with you guys, but it just left my brain. Okay. I'll move my moon there. This is our green girl with our secret key and our wrapped wood stained cab with two different styles of chain on either side. One's doubled up and one's single, so the thinner chain double up matches the thickness of the less one. So notching, I would just put a notch in your pewter, so you can do that probably with your round nose pliers, or you can do it by using if you have some thicker, like a HP 0001 or something like that, you can notch your rings. You take your ring like this and put a pin here and hammer. You can notch it, and notching it would ensure that your jump ring stays in the center because it has something to rock in versus this is continually, turning and spinning. If you notch it, it'll have something for your jump ring to sit in. On both of these, you could do that with. I would use a thicker wire if you're using that to hammer. Otherwise, a bead awl would probably work too. But notching would help with that. Any other questions? If there's not, then I'm going to let you guys enjoy this beautiful weather, and I need to finish, of course, Candy, I need to finish my designs for Wednesday so I can get a background picture to Jean so she can get the event posted, and then all of you can mark that you're going, because that's so helpful. I need you guys to mark that you're interested or going. And then you should receive a notification that we're going live if you're not signed up for the texts. So either get signed up for the texts or mark going or interested on the event, or do both. Because it's important that you have those notifications so you know when we're going live. Any other questions in the meantime? Get this off. Oh, look at all those love reactions coming in. We just love that. It makes things so much easier for us. Anyway, I hope you guys liked this. I think we're going to be doing 1 or 2 more of the Backstage Pass Vintaj Stash reviews public, and then they're going to go back to private. So that way it's just for you ladies. Of course, Sherry. Thank you guys for joining me today. I hope you enjoy the amazing weather outside, if it's amazing where you're at. Hopefully it is, because it is here. And Jean and Ainsley will be on Friday, and then you guys will see me super soon. You guys will see me on Wednesday this week, so I'm very excited. And then maybe I'll throw some sneak peek pictures up on the Instagram and the Facebook of the offering for Wednesday, because you're going to freak. Anyway, I love you guys so much. Hopefully you had a wonderful Valentine's Day, and I will see you guys on Wednesday.